All right, Mark, before we do talk about those security measures, we have a fascinating bite that we have to play to you, something that hasn't been heard on network yet. We had a pilot who was taking off from John F. Kennedy Airport in New York with a wonderful pleasure trip to Hawaii. He saw an American Airlines aircraft flying erratically. And what he told me is that he had to take evasive maneuvers. Let's listen to what that pilot did. You dodged one of the aircraft that hit the tower?
Well, he was up there whenever we were coming from New York, so what we had to do was, they were not talking to him, and he was changing his heading and his altitude, so they just cleared us to deviate however we had to stay away from him. We had him in sight, so it was a nice day in New York. We were out of the clouds, which helped a lot, so we just, dodged him, and then by the time we got here, they ordered us to land.
That's right. Landing in Dayton, 18 airplanes, we believe, were diverted to Dayton International Airport. Sharon Sears, what kind of security measures, what has happened this morning in terms of flights diverted and then on to security?
Howard, at this time, we have quickly made several security changes here at Dayton International. We have currently closed the inner lanes here in front of the terminal building. We are removing all of the garbage cans here in the front of the building.
Why is that?
Just as a security precaution. That way nothing can be placed in them that wouldn't be seen.
Like a bomb, perhaps?
Exactly. We don't like to say that word here at the airport, but exactly. So we have removed those. We have also closed our checkpoint to all people, regardless if they're ticketed or not, just airline employees and airport employees with airport-issued ID.
And you put concrete barricades?
Yes, we are putting barricades here in front of the building to keep all vehicles away from the building.
Any idea how long these measures will last?
No, not at this time. We will just have to wait and see what the FAA recommends we do.
Okay, what's the latest tally of the number of aircraft which have been diverted to Dayton?
We were expecting 18, and I believe we're nearing that now.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll have more as the day unfolds. That's the story from Dayton International Airport. Reporting live, Howard Nathan, 2 News. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Howard, thank you very much. Fascinating interview with that pilot. And it will be interesting as this story plays out over the next several days to learn whether at the moment that those planes impacted their targets, whether the actual airline crews were still in control of those aircraft or whether the planes had been commandeered by the terrorists. Hopefully we'll get those answers somewhere down the road. Also, events unfolding in downtown Dayton. All streets around the Federal Building closed, and the Federal buildings themselves have been evacuated. All essential, non-essential personnel sent home for the day. Our Carl Day still live downtown with new elements from there. Carl.
All right, let me bring you up to speed a little bit, Mark. As you can follow me, sir, you can see the streets are still blocked here around the Federal Building. A lot of the downtown area, if you're coming through, you can get through, but the street is going to be blocked off and you're going to be diverted. Just not too many minutes ago, I had a chance to sit down with Mayor Mike Turner of the city of Dayton, and I asked him, with all of this precaution, what all is the city doing at this point? And he told me.
At this point, what's being done for the city?
All of our safety forces are on alert. We have closed the streets around the government buildings. The airport, both South and the International Airport, are being shut down, and people are being removed from the airport. We're in touch with the FBI, and additional security is being placed around the Federal Building. We've also been in touch with Wright Pat in assistance of their process of going on high alert. And this is obviously a hostile act against the United States, and it clearly requires that we rethink the way that we protect our cities.
Now, that was just one statement. We've got some more we'll be talking about throughout the afternoon. I asked the mayor how long he thought all of this was going to take place in Dayton, and that's a big unanswered question because this may not be over yet. That's the scariest part of all of this. But, Mark, the situation downtown, it's almost like a command center here with spokes going out to all of the agencies. They have called in all of the emergency forces. Everybody who is needed is called in. It's everybody at their desk, ready just in case. Mark, back to you.
All right, Carl, thank you very much. Let's look at that map one more time, basically where Carl just was, to remind you which streets are now closed to you in the downtown area. 2nd and 3rd Street between Wilkinson and Ludlow is the area affected. That is around the Federal Building downtown. Please avoid that area. There's really no business being conducted in downtown Dayton today.
But we had heard reports earlier of firefighters with their radios turned on, calling to their comrades to come and rescue them. They had been buried under the rubble. Of course, all of this still unfolding as the day goes on. We also spoke to Congressman Tony Hall on the phone a short time ago. He was 2 blocks from the Pentagon when that plane crashed into the Pentagon around, I believe, 10 or 11 o'clock this morning. And here is what he had to say over the phone to us.
We cannot allow this to happen in our country without making these terrorists pay. And we will go after them, and we will track them down, and we cannot spare any resources, any money to do this.
Of course, you heard Congressman Tony Hall there mention Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, one of the most secure sites in the nation in terms of security. Our Don Hammond has been standing by live there to bring us up to date on exactly what's going on there. My understanding is they're on the highest state of alert. Is that right, Don?
Molly, in fact, you are correct. Wright-Pat complying with the reports we've heard previously from the president this morning, and they are at their highest state of alert as we know it. Force Protection Condition Delta. We're going to push our picture right through to the chain link fence there to the military guard shack, where officers there, military officers, are monitoring each individual that comes in and out of that base. Earlier here at gate 26C today, the gates in fact were closed, but we're in somewhat of a security floating mode right now because commanders here on base and high-level personnel are kind of meeting together to decide minute by minute how to handle the security here right now. Non-essential personnel leaving the base. Essential personnel are allowed in, but other gates surrounding this vast complex are closed today. Don Hammond live from Wright-Pat, 2 News.
There have been a number of local implications of what has happened today in New York and Washington and elsewhere, most particularly not only at the base but in Fairborn as well, with all of the base presence there, a lot of businesses closing early, schools closing early as well. Our Karen Schimler live with that part of the story. Karen.
Well, Mark, that was on everyone's mind today. Hundreds of parents came up to the school. We are at the junior high school, and let me step out of the way. You can see behind me it's pretty much cleared out at this point. Still a few students waiting around for their parents to come pick them up. The high school shut down at 11 o'clock. The junior high closed their doors at 11:30, and then all the elementary schools at noon. You can see it has pretty much cleared out, but a while ago it was packed with parents coming to pick up their children. The buses were here. Students were being removed from the school and taken home to the safety with their families. And most of the parents that we talked to, everyone that I spoke with, said living this close to the base, it makes you a little nervous out here, and they were very happy when school officials made the decision to go ahead and close the schools. Now, we did talk to a number of parents, and we will have more for you coming up later in the day.